Hey guys, um, I wanted to come on here this morning, and pay tribute, do a celebration of life thing, um, in the rock, in the rock news. Um, this death happened 2 years ago. Since we're already in 2026. But unfortunately, I did not hear about this. I don't even know where I was until I know it happened on May 18th, but unfortunately we lost one of the best drummers that started an era with a band that still is blossoming to this day. And it's actually the band I had mentioned that played their song, one of their songs that's incredibly powerful. It's a ballad, it's an amp amplified ballad of remembering those in the service, remembering those who were like not set off to be politicians, but grammar and bringing freedom to those in the US. We're the uh we're the United States of America. Politics shouldn't even be a thing, even though that they are. You're free to do whatever you want to do. Because this is the land of the free, home of the brave, land of the free, home of the brave, and that'll when I think of the US, I always think of the pledge. I always think of it's the land of the free. It's the land of doing whatever the fuck you want. And the home of the brave, those who return from war or die in war. This is always going to be their home. Those who serve the country that are from America, this is always going to be their home. But one of the people we lost in the rock industry happens to be first original drummer for the band Stained. But with tragic loss between, so he died in 2024, but he departed from the band in 2011. But it is none other than John Wysocki. John was the first drummer for Stained, original Stained drummer. He died on May 18th, 2024. He was 53. Um and his cause of death was due to issues with his liver. Um but it required him to be under the care of medical professionals. Um so what is really awesome is that John was so he was so he did the first seven albums was Stained. He was the drummer for all seven of those albums. Um they achieved three consecutive number one albums with 2001's Break the Cycle, 2003's 14 Shades of Grey, and 2005's Chapter V. So the three consecutive number one albums were the best albums Stain has ever really released. Um, and I really love Stained. I think Aaron's lyrics and really the message that Stain is giving out is that this world tells you a lot about living your dream, like living glamorously, um living basically your dreams, but nightmares are dreams. They're um I don't know. And the fact that hearing him in interviews speak about the fact that he collaborated with another another memory of a band, Linkin Park. Aaron Lewis actually got to duet Crawling with Chester Bennington before his passing. But unfortunately, John was is always going to be remembered as far as a really great drummer. Um, Being the original drummer, it really, I mean, and even after John departed from Stained in 2011, he joined another band called Soil, which Soil, um, he was with them from 2011 to 2012. Um, and that's the thing. Stained, they had a. I will say their music is definitely grunge, and they're often labeled to be. I mean, I don't see it. I don't ever see it. No band is gonna do things the same or sound the same, and that's just the reality of it. You know, like the glamorous, what people think of glamorous, when it comes to music is, oh, this person sounds like that, they sound like that, but really it's like you have your own sound as a band or as a solo musician. That's a gift. That is something that can't ever be drained from you. It can't be drained from the well. Yep, I'll be right back. John Hungry Tom. John Hungry Tom Pickle Dust Tom. He wants something to EAT. That's what I think too. Give him a couple COOKIES's, Tomo. He can spell now. Look at it, fucker. He's so smart. He ain't that smart. He's not something going for. Yes. But that's the many things is that John was out. I mean, drumming was in his blood, and and the fact that like hearing him in Stain's documentary, like, because the thing is, Stain, they constructed their music where like Aaron would like send in like lyrics, and the band would put like music to it, or like say like on the computer, like coming up with like a beat coming up. So kind of like what we do at Listen Up, a lot like what we do at Listen Up. Actually, really, for me on Wednesdays when like Ian and I and Monkey Business, we all come together. We look at a song we worked on, or really kind of like held on to, and we kind of like more or we metamorphosize that song into something big, just like what we did with Riffsman. But songs, are like a metamorphosis. Like they go through that cycle of metamorphosis where they go from like a tadpole or a caterpillar into something very beautiful and graceful, really. I mean, the thing is, that's really in music, you just have to keep going. I mean, I'm really honored that my song Riffsman with Ian and Kyle, like that was played at a music store in North Conway in New Hampshire, and that was just unbelievable to hear. And the fact that I have really good communications with Sage, and of course the owner who works there, or that Gary, they're both really great people. But yeah, yesterday was really great. We pushed through rehearsal and stuff like that. For the Pride Festival on July 17th, and then my group went in the Blue Room and worked on projects. But I was asked. I was asked um if I would sing like Cher. So one of my friends at program, he's doing a full on like he's covering the soundtrack for Mamma Mia. Um and my friend of mine, he's very much like he doesn't like ABBA's one of his favorite bands. ABBA is a Swedish band. Um they're definitely considered rock pop. Um and the thing is that Cher, so the correct answer is ABBA did all those songs. They wrote all those songs for the movie. And Cher performed all of them. She did Dancing Queen, Fernando, but Paul wanted me to drum on Fernando. And because he's covering that whole soundtrack from the movie. And he had asked me if I would sing on Fernando like Cher, and I'm like, unless you want to hear a dog bark, no. And then I hear Liam say, this definitely needs drums. And I'm like, yeah, drums or guitar are great. I feel like I could sing like Cher as well, but it's hard when somebody says, can you sing like somebody? Like, can you sing like Taylor Swift, or can you sing like Cher? You're not Cher, you're not Taylor Swift at all. Like, you don't. That's where it's important, where you need to find your own voice. Did I feel like, I mean, I said to him, I said I'll sing, but it's not gonna come out like Cher. If you want me to do vocals, I'll do vocals, but it's not gonna come out like Cher. So then, drums were kind of like, I think I'm like, yeah, drums, I can do it, and it took me only one take to get it right. But what's really important is when you're doing drums and you're recording them on a song that's being covered, you have to listen to the song through before you proceed with it. But again, going back to Stained and things like that, I will say Stained is one of my favorite bands for many reasons. The messages that are behind the lyrics, the melodies that are added, and the fact that Aaron often will talk about what what is what it like break the cycle of how you're feeling, break the cycle of hatred, break the cycle of unhealthy habits or coping strategies, meaning that it can be through addiction, it can be through drinking alcohol. But I really like Stained a lot, and I love their live performance of one of their songs that they paid tribute to Charlie Kirk. The thing is, it also talks about breaking the cycle of things that feel haunting, that can take a dark, haunting turn in your life. But really, when you kill an American person, somebody, or not American, when you kill somebody from the US that has always been born here, that, has every right to freedom as we all do. But unfortunately, um, it really, it's very haunting, and it's very unfortunate of what happened. Because, that's the thing, is even during a lot of, like 9/11, because that also happened in the US, like even before the whole shooting with Charlie Kirk, freedom was already in the most darkest places, and it haunted a lot of people. I don't care about politics. I care about living my life, and living my life through choices, through freedom, knowing the choice that I know I can walk out from something, I can come into something at any given time. There's no place like the present. And and as I said, that's it's one thing to say to other people when somebody's having a hard time, but you always have to consider yourself and make sure you have a choice of words, you have a choice of really actions of what you want to do. Words, grammar is huge, but grammar also usually is spoken through truth and not through error.